I was probably the best pure scorer ever in the history of the game.
I know that ain't who I think it is.
The #1 seed in the West this year, Kobe Bryant knocks it down. Beautiful move, and he's got 16. And down on the floor for the Lakers is Paul Pierce. Certainly not the sight the Celtics and their fans want to see. Paul Pierce in a lot of pain, had to be carried off, then they put him in the wheelchair.
I have a confession to make. Whoa. I just had to go to a bathroom.
It's the off-season now, so there's not a ton going on in the basketball world besides trades and rumors. That's when analysts like Paul Pierce now start throwing out wild takes just to keep the conversation going, and honestly, to keep those checks coming in. And that's exactly what this feels like. Paul Pierce recently went on Speak and said he's the greatest scorer of all time. Yes, even over MJ, KD, LeBron, all of them. Don't believe me? Just watch the clip for yourself again.
I was probably the best pure scorer ever in the history of the game. Because I was pretty equipped. When I think about it, I'm just saying, like,
Could you pull up from the elbow?
I need to be in this conversation.
See what I mean? He actually said that he thinks he's the greatest scorer of all time. He was responding to a clip from the Mind the Game podcast where LeBron was calling KD the greatest scorer.
You know, LeBron is the greatest, the leading scorer of all time in NBA history. But I think even you would admit there's things about Kevin's game you wish you had.
Yeah, for sure.
One of the most smoothest, most efficient scorers we've ever had. Like, is there anyone that can do it at every level?
Not to the capacity he's done it. This guy is, when it comes to three-level score, three-pointers, mid-range, below the Gary Payton area, below the Malone area, and finishing. It's we haven't had a scorer as equipped as KD in our league.
Tell me what y'all think about LeBron crowning KD as a GOAT scorer and giving him his flowers. Tell me in the comments if y'all agree or not. But one person who definitely didn't like that take was Paul Pierce, because he thinks that he's the greatest. I don't know if his producers encouraged him to say that or if he was just tooting his own horn, but either way, it's a huge stretch. Look, I respect players being confident in their game, but this one just isn't close. Pierce didn't even average 20 points per game for his career. He finished at 19.7. Yeah, that's almost 20, but when you're talking about the greatest scorer ever, that doesn't cut it. The guys truly in that conversation, MJ, KD, Kobe, they averaged way over 20 for their careers. Now, to be fair, his final years with the Nets, Wizards, and Clippers did bring his average down, but even still, there are other facts that make the claim fall apart. He never won a single scoring title, not one. How can you be the greatest scorer ever if you never once led the league in scoring?
I rest my case.
Hear me out. MJ had 10 scoring titles, KD has 4, Kobe had 2, Pierce 0. He's also not top 10 in points or points per game. And let's be real, was he even the best scorer of his era? You had Kobe, T-Mac, and Iverson all putting up bigger numbers and way more feared as scorers. So where does that really place Paul Pierce? Because it's definitely not at the top of the list. And don't even get me started on his efficiency, because even he admitted that's where he falls short.
Yeah, like, I think, you know, when he talking about his efficiency, because I shot more bad shots than Kevin.
Yeah, you was just hot dogging. You wasn't as clean.
No, I shot more bad shots, but Kevin, because he's 7 feet, he can get his shot off on anybody. He don't really see defense. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's why he's so efficient. There's nobody at his height on the perimeter.
Yeah, he kept bringing up KD's height, and sure, that definitely helps him as a scorer, no argument there. But even guys with a similar frame like Michael Jordan are still better scorers than Paul Pierce. I think Pierce is mixing up his clutch ability with scoring ability, and to be fair, he was super clutch. But there are just so many players who clearly rank above him as scorers. Now, don't get it twisted, I still think Pierce was a very talented and special player, but when it comes to scoring, there are levels to this. But what do you think? Who's the greatest scorer of all time? Tell me in the comment section below. Until next time, peace.